About a year ago, the world changed forever when the PlayStation 5 was revealed via pre-recorded internet video. And boy did Sony kick off their big next-gen reveal with a bang. We got our first taste of the unlimited power of this new machine with footage of a PS3 game. Grand Theft Auto 5 was originally released in 2013, received an enhanced re-release in 2014 for the PS4, and now will be re-released in 2021 on the PS5. Now, I love GTA 5 more than pretty much any other game ever invented by humans, so I was legitimately excited by this announcement. But for anyone wondering just why the hell Sony would kick off such an important video with a 2-generation-old game, I mean, how many games sold 5 million copies in 3 months over 7 years after its initial release? Most games would kill to sell that many copies in total over its entire lifetime. GTA 5 is an absolute titan of this industry, reaching a status that few games have ever reached. As I type this, it's the #1 most watched game on Twitch. It's sitting at 145 million copies sold and shows no signs of slowing down, especially with this imminent next-gen release. It's pretty safe to say that if pulled off correctly, this re-release of GTA 5 will likely result in the game having its most successful year ever 8 years after its release, which is absolutely wild. There is a fairly realistic chance that a 2-generation-old game will be the killer app for PS5 and Xbox Series X going forward. Anyone picking up this new hardware will probably pick up a new copy of Grand Theft Auto to go with it. Now, nearly a year after its reveal, we finally have a release date to look forward to. GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced will be releasing on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and presumably PC on November 11th, 2021. While there were no doubt delays to Expanded and Enhanced thanks to COVID, I also believe this release will not be treated the same as any other regular old, quick and dirty next-gen port. Just like the PS4 Enhanced Edition was a dramatic upgrade over the PS3 original and gave the game a whole new life on new hardware, I fully expect this PS5 version of GTA 5 to provide more than simple resolution and frame rate upgrades. It's not just an enhanced edition. I think that expanded word there is the real key, and it's what really has my mind running wild. But really, after making us wait over a year from announcement to release, this better be more than just a simple next-gen port. If any game deserves the time, effort, and money needed for a major overhaul, it's Grand Theft Auto 5. So today, I'm going to put on my special speculation hat. As someone who has played GTA 5 religiously since its launch in 2013, what would I like to see in this new 2021 Expanded and Enhanced Edition? What would truly enhance GTA 5 here in this new generation? And perhaps more importantly, how can the game be expanded? Also, we're gonna try to be realistic here. I'd love to get 80 new story missions that take place in Vice City, but I think something that major is obviously not in the cards. So I'll be looking at the PS4 Enhanced Edition of the game as a reference point, taking into account what changes were made in the jump between generations last time, and make some educated guesses on what I think is feasible in this second jump between generations. I'll also be looking at other modern games and PS4 to PS5 remasters, taking notes on what I've seen and what I like, and how all of that could be logically applied to Grand Theft Auto 5. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. 5 changes, additions, or upgrades I'd like to see in GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced. Before we jump into the 2021 release, I think we should take a ride back to the past and quickly recap what Rockstar was able to do with 2013's GTA 5 when it made the jump to new hardware just over a year later in November 2014. When GTA 5 was released on the 360 and PS3, it was the absolute cutting edge when it came to visuals. In fact, going back and looking at it, it's hard to believe they made this work on hardware that was originally released in 2005. That's right, the game we are about to play again in 2021 was built on a foundation that dates all the way back to 2005. Insane. GTA 5 was a technical showpiece and blew away pretty much every other game from that generation visually, outside of maybe The Last of Us. But with the generation coming to an end mere months after the game's big September release, Rockstar quickly began work on the next-gen version. Speculation ran wild on what could be added to the game, as you'd expect from the rabid Rockstar fanbase. In the end, the enhanced version of GTA 5 had its share of both expected and unexpected upgrades. The biggest jump came in the form of the game's visuals. We went from 720p on 360 and PS3 to 1080p on PS4 and Xbox One. Though the frame rate continued to target only 30 FPS, tons of additional graphical enhancements could be found pretty much everywhere you looked. Enhanced draw distance, higher resolution textures, additional wildlife, new weather effects, better lighting and particle effects, an improved skybox, increased traffic and pedestrian density, and foliage where there was no foliage before. Various new vehicles, properties, weapons, outfits, collectibles, and even new side missions were added to the game. With GTA Online, server sizes increased from a max of 16 players to 30, and we were given a character transfer option from last gen to current gen hardware, which has since been disabled due to those old consoles being hacked to absolute hell and back. Oh my god. Probably the biggest and most unexpected addition came in the form of the new first-person option. At the simple press of a button, you could play through the entire game with a first-person perspective. Players had been modding first-person modes into GTA games for years on PC, but such an option in an official release always felt like a pipe dream. These games were designed to be played in third person, so surely the change in perspective would break everything, right? Well, not really. Rockstar did tweak some aspects of the gameplay to make it work. Your movement speed, various animations, and how aiming works changes when you enter first person, but in the end, the shift was pretty seamless. I personally loved playing through GTA 5 all over again in first person, and while it doesn't seem like much today, it really felt like an entirely different experience back in 2014. Again, I want to emphasize, first person in GTA 5 was thought to be an unrealistic expectation, so as we begin speculating on what new features could be added to GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced, I want you to keep that in mind. Before you finish this video and jump into those comments and yell at me about how they'd never do that, Tony, they never add that to GTA 5, you fraud. Rockstar doesn't love us. They don't have to add anything, they make enough money either way. Just remember, first person mode. That shit was dope. So now that we've covered what was added the last time around in the jump between generations, let's explore the 5 big expansions and/or enhancements I'd like to see in this new upcoming version of Grand Theft Auto 5. Ray tracing is basically the defining feature of this new generation. Well, it's hard to explain in words. The fact of the matter is this: throw ray tracing onto a game, and the look is absolutely transformed for the better. Certain types of games benefit from ray tracing more than others, but perhaps none more than city-based open-world games. At almost all times, your eyeballs are being overloaded, taking in these new ray-traced reflections from cars, windows, buildings, and other surfaces. Also, rain. Oh, the rain. Ray-traced reflections at night while it's raining, that is truly the next-gen experience. If Rockstar wants to truly impress players with GTA 5's upgraded visuals, I think ray tracing is an absolute must. We have a couple of great reference points here to get an idea of what a GTA 5 with ray tracing could look like. First up, we have Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. The game jumped from 4K 30 FPS on PS4 Pro to 4K 30 FPS with ray tracing on the PS5, and to me, the difference is staggering. I don't think watching footage on YouTube truly does this game justice. My jaw is pretty much dropped at all times exploring this absolutely gorgeous world at 4K with ray tracing on. While Spidey doesn't spend too much time on the ground walking around the crowded streets of New York, we can use this footage and let our imaginations run wild. Here's what GTA 5 looks like on last-gen consoles. And here's Spidey Remastered, showing what's possible for the look of a city-based open-world title when jumping to the current generation. The next game I want to look at is Cyberpunk 2077. While we all know Cyberpunk failed to deliver in a number of aspects, its visuals are an absolute triumph. CD Projekt Red has crafted an absolutely gorgeous game, and when it comes to sheer graphical prowess, the game is pretty much unmatched. Here I have the game running at 1440p, 30 FPS, with all ray tracing options set to max and DLSS off. The bar has absolutely been set here when it comes to city-based open world graphics. Let's look at the difference here between GTA 5, which I think is still gorgeous, versus Cyberpunk, which gains so damn much from such effective use of ray traced lighting. Visually, I think there's nothing more important than strong implementation of ray tracing with this expanded and enhanced version of GTA 5. But ray tracing is not the be-all end-all when it comes to a game's visuals, graphics, and overall performance. While throwing ray tracing on top of GTA 5 would do a decent enough job transforming the game's look, I do think we still need to go a bit further. Certain elements of the game could use a fresh coat of paint, much like they received during the last generational jump. Upgraded textures, increased pedestrian density, further draw distance, more cars on the road. These are all things that I expect to be, once again, updated to reflect the new advances in power thanks to the next-gen consoles. And no, simply maxing all of the settings from the PC version and bringing that to consoles is not enough in my opinion. For an idea of what a GTA 5 with more modernized, updated assets could look like, I think we need to look no further than the wonderful NaturalVision 2.0 mod. Razed's NaturalVision totally overhauls basically every aspect of GTA 5 and brings the game's visuals up to modern standards. Weather effects, building models, and animal fur are upgraded, textures are sharp and super high resolution, additional lights have been added to brighten up Los Santos at night. He even added the Yaiba Kusanagi. This man Razed, it's like he made this mod specifically for me. There's way more to the mod than that, by the way, but I could be here for an hour just listing all the changes and additions. It's easily one of the most impressive mods to any video game I've ever seen, and I highly recommend checking out Razed Patreon if you want to get the most recent version of the mod. It's updated on a monthly basis, and it's as cutting edge an upgrade you could find for GTA 5. Simply put, Los Santos is breathtaking with this mod installed, and has my mind running wild when it comes to the PS5 re-release of the game. Even being a fan-made mod, the jump here is staggering. Look at the difference between an unmodded GTA 5 and NaturalVision. I don't know about you, but if talented fans are capable of such great work, I think similarly upgraded visuals from Rockstar themselves, with a full team and budget behind it, is the least we can expect from a new release of GTA 5. If expanded and enhanced looks something like this, with ray tracing thrown on top, we could be looking at a truly and effectively modernized version of Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, actually, there's a couple more things I'd like to see when it comes to visuals and performance. In this section, we could look at what other PS4 to PS5 remasters have provided and reasonably apply that same logic to GTA 5 expanded and enhanced. To me, the gold standard for PS5 remasters is Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, and as we went over earlier, it's a pretty solid comparison point considering both games are city-based open-world titles. In the jump between generations, Marvel's Spider-Man has received two major technical upgrades that most remasters attempt, but none have nailed perfectly quite like Insomniac has. First up is resolution and performance options. I believe the options we see here in Spidey PS5 should be standard in every remaster, and expanded and enhanced is no exception. We have 4K 30 FPS with ray tracing, 4K 60 FPS without ray tracing, and even a 1080p 60 FPS with ray tracing option. This is perfection, and I think satisfies all different types of players. I personally love having a rock solid 30 FPS option that pushes the visual effects to the absolute limit. I mean, console players have been playing the game at 30 FPS for close to 8 years now. However, I think the time is long overdue for GTA 5 to run at 60 FPS on consoles, and I'd be pretty pissed if we don't at least get the option to play a PS3 game at 60 FPS on PS5. We could play The Last of Us Part 2 now at 4K 60 FPS for God's sake. There's absolutely no excuse here. Heck, even a 120 FPS option would be nice, but I'm not gonna push my luck. Next is load time, something that Rockstar's open world games have always struggled with. The insanely quick SSD included with the PS5 should make this problem a thing of the past. Looking at Spidey's load times on PS5 compared to PS4 is absolutely comical. I love it so much that initial load is basically instant. I want the same exact thing for GTA 5. The initial load should barely exist. Switching between characters should take no more than 5 seconds. If I call a cab, that thing should be behind me instantaneously and take me to my destination just as fast. This is the new normal, and I absolutely love it. A GTA without tedious load times sounds like absolute heaven. Speaking of tedious load times, we should probably touch a bit on the part of the game that is about 90% load times and 10% actual game. GTA Online is incredibly popular to this day and just received its best update ever in my mind with the Cayo Perico heist. Content is really not a problem with GTA Online, and I think if anything is a lock with expanded and enhanced, it's a big new GTA Online content update. GTA Online is the moneymaker for Rockstar and will continue to be that for the foreseeable future thanks to this new release of the game. But if any part of this game feels like it's being dragged into the depths of hell thanks to the 2005 hardware it was originally built on, it is GTA Online. This crap is absolutely archaic in so many ways, and it is way past time to overhaul this thing from the bottom up. A jump to a new generation of consoles is the perfect excuse in my mind to fix it. The majority of the mode's problems are really quality of life problems. The menus are an absolute mess. You have this menu, and your phone, and about a billion subsections for each, and that's not even to mention all the features that you could only access from going to a certain property on the map. This is what happens when you let 7 years worth of updates just pile up over a foundation built in 2013 that obviously wasn't created to support the monster that GTA Online has become. I could spend 3 hours going through GTA Online's menus and other issues and explain how exactly I'd streamline all this crap, but again, that goes way outside the scope of this video. For now, I'll just say, fix those menus. Please, streamline this stuff. Let us hide options we don't need. Give us the ability to create shortcuts. The fact that I have to dig 50 options deep into this stupid menu to eat a snack, while also hugging a wall in order to skip the long-ass eating animation, is incomprehensible trash. It's trash. GTA Online in 2021 needs to take into consideration all of the game's updates from the last 7 years and present it in a coherent way for new players and not overwhelm the hell out of them. Earlier this year, a talented fan by the name of Toast was able to shorten GTA Online's load times dramatically. It was so dramatic, in fact, that Rockstar themselves implemented the change into the game, officially even giving thanks to Toast in their patch notes. I think it goes without saying that dramatically faster load times from top to bottom need to be implemented into the expanded and enhanced version of GTA Online. The current load times on consoles are unbearable here in 2021, and I'd be super pissed if they can't find a way to shorten them. Most of these problems are at least greatly improved in Red Dead Online. Even then, I don't think Red Dead Online is close to perfect, but it's like heaven on earth compared to some of the stuff we see in GTA Online. The point is, Rockstar knows how to make a more coherent online mode. It's right there. I would like for them to apply what they've learned with Red Dead Online into GTA Online at the very least. This takes me to my final point on GTA Online, which is just an overall modernization of the mode to meet current live service game standards. This may be where GTA Online fails the worst and feels the most outdated. The fact that GTA Online doesn't have a season pass of any kind absolutely boggles the mind. There are so many potential rewards for players, and as much as they already make a killing with Shark Card sales, a legit beefy season pass with limited time vehicles, weapons, and outfits would make them even more. Red Dead has this figured out. It's time for GTA Online to join the party. Also, 3 daily challenges is an absolute joke for a game as content-rich as GTA Online. Just look at Red Dead Online's daily challenges in comparison, and that's a game with far less content. Every major property the player purchases should come included with its own set of dedicated daily challenges, similar to Red Dead Online and its roles. Rockstar updates their newswire every week with RP or cash bonus events for GTA Online, but I shouldn't have to be glued to their website or Twitter to learn all this stuff. And no, updating the loading screens with these promotions isn't the answer. I've been conditioned to multitask while playing GTA Online because these load times are absolute torture. I'm not going to pay much attention to these screens. Most of the time, I get load screens that are months out of date too, so how am I supposed to know what specials are still active? How hard could it be to place this information in-game in a place that you aren't going to miss? That goes for daily challenges too. Organizing and presenting important, time-sensitive information to players is something Rockstar struggles with, so I think it would be best to look at how other devs tackle the problem. I think Fortnite has this solved. Funnily enough, it's one of the precious few games on the market that actually rivals GTA in popularity, so Rockstar, take some notes. Don't you like money? This crap made $9 billion in 2 years, so obviously they're doing something right. All of your challenges in Fortnite are presented in a single list that is impossible to miss. As you scroll down, you see what the payout is for each challenge, where on the map you need to go, and time-sensitive challenges have a timer attached. Of course, these are refreshed each day, and then further refreshed each week, with even more bonus challenges added periodically to keep things interesting. I don't think this is some kind of revolutionary concept here, but it's simple and it just works. Check out this crappy mock-up I made in about 10 minutes in Photoshop to show what GTA Online's challenges menu could look like. A clean presentation of challenges that players can easily and quickly jump into for a quick and solid payout is a must here in 2021 for any live service game. It's about time GTA Online got with the program. This is basic stuff, and I hope it is all addressed in November with expanded and enhanced. Let's finish off with the juiciest prediction of all. Yes, I know, we're trying to be realistic with this speculation. We all know that promise will never truly be fulfilled. But at this point, I'd like only 2 additions made to GTA 5 single player, and I honestly do consider them realistic. Nothing I'm about to say here is even remotely ambitious. Sadly, that's just where my expectations are at this point. when it comes to significant single-player DLC and Rockstar games. First up, I'd like to see the weapons, vehicles, and clothing that is currently exclusive to GTA Online become available in the game's single-player mode. You may recall that Rockstar actually did add new content that was created for online to the game's single-player mode for a time. However, that has long stopped, and now there are tons of online exclusive stuff that I'd love to see added to single player. It's all easily accessible right now on PC if you have a trainer installed, so honestly, I don't see why they couldn't just add them to the single player legitimately. I don't think this is asking for much and would give longtime players a good reason to replay the game. Could you imagine how badly we could break the game with an Oppressor Mark II in the single player mode? Come on, this is a golden opportunity. Finally, the big one. New missions. It's obviously a long shot, but hear me out. The Diamond Casino and Resort and the island of Cayo Perico are entirely new locations that were created and added to GTA Online. I would love to see Michael, Trevor, Franklin, Lamar, and Lester get together for one last job. Just one more big score, then it's off to Tahiti. Come on, I don't think the voice actors are too busy right now. Give them a payday, Rockstar. These guys earned it. Missions could be provided out of the casino itself from the Madrazzos. The opening of the casino is also an easy excuse to give players another collectible to collect. Like, I don't know, playing cards? That works. Bootleg operations run out of the casino could also provide a logical way to have players collect those new cars, weapons, or clothes that I mentioned earlier. It's amazing how much new content can be incorporated with the addition of one simple building to the map. It would all build up to the big heist on the island of Cayo Perico, which again, I wouldn't expect to be all that different from the heist we play in GTA Online. But imagine that classic back and forth between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. I'm sold, just take my money, damn you, take it. Honestly, I could go on and on. We all know the potential is endless here, so I could only pray these locations that are already made and ready to go don't just waste away as GTA Online exclusives. If Rockstar wants to create an absolute frenzy around the re-release of GTA 5 this November, all they have to do is pull the emergency single-player DLC switch. Also, let us play as Dr. Dre. The model's right there. Come on, Rockstar. Come on. And with that, we are going to wrap it up for today's video. All in all, I'm incredibly excited for GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced, and I hope Rockstar really delivers with this new version of the game. These 5 requests aren't unreasonable, especially for a game that is as legendary as GTA 5, that has sold the amount of copies that it has. If any game deserves special treatment, and for a remaster to go above and beyond, it is GTA 5. The game that continues to thrive like no other, an insane 8 years after release. Don't let the fanbase down here, Rockstar. This thing should kick ass and blow us all away. If you like this video and want to see more GTA related content, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Next time, I'll be doing this same routine for Red Dead Redemption 2. The game will almost certainly receive a similar overhaul once GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced is on the market. So, what would I like to see added to a next-gen remaster of Red Dead Redemption 2? Of course, I have a lot to say on that topic, so look forward to that video very soon. We've also received word that both GTA Online and Red Dead Online will be receiving new content updates soon, so of course expect coverage of both here on the channel as these updates roll out. Also, we have E3 2021 to look forward to in the coming days. So it's time to get hype because gaming Christmas is upon us. As always, tons of stuff coming here on the channel. So until next time, thanks so much for watching everyone, and take care.